Thank you so much for clicking on my channel today. Really, really appreciate it. As always, remember to subscribe, share, whatever you gotta do. If you like my videos, spread the word. Anyway, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is you're watching this video. Thank you so much for clicking on my channel. So today I am doing a wear test and review slash first impression. Today is the Smashbox Foundation. This came out probably 6, maybe 8 months ago. And I have had it sitting around for a very long time, and finally I decided to dip into it and see what I felt. So this is the Smashbox Studio Skin Full Coverage 24-Hour Foundation. And no, I am not gonna wear this in 24 hours. But what you're about to see is I went ahead and I tried it 2 different ways. I tried it yesterday, applying it with a brush and putting a base of the Smashbox oil down first. So you will see kind of a wear test on that first. And then following, I tried it again today, applying it with my beauty sponge. Half of my face, I tried mixing the oil in with the foundation, and then the other half I tried it just on its own with the sponge. So if you want to see my full review, thoughts, and opinions on this foundation, please keep on watching. Just for your information, I have very, very, very dry skin. It is still very much winter-like weather in California. Yes, when it's in the 70s, we call that winter-like weather in California. So it's very dry, and therefore for dry skin girls like myself, it just means my skin is itchingly dry. It is so dry. If you have dry skin and you want a review on this foundation from Smashbox, then you have come to the right place. All right, guys, so without further ado, okay, so my immediate thoughts on this foundation is that it is very heavy. I don't particularly love the finish of it. I think it's accentuating my texture. It's making my dry skin feel more dry, even with the oil as a base. So we will see how it turns out later today. And by the way, it is 11:08 a.m. Hi guys! So since I'm sitting in the car waiting for my husband to come back, I figured I would do a check-in. It is currently 3:42, so it's been about 5 hours since I put the makeup on. Honestly, from like a good distance, it looks okay. But from up close, I do feel like it looks quite cakey. For a matte foundation, that's really normal for me, and I feel like I did do everything I could to help this foundation sit better. And this is how it's looking thus far. So we will do a check-in once I get back to my house, and we'll do it with my good camera because the camera on my phone kind of sucks. But I just figured I would use the natural light in the car to do a check-in right now for you guys. All right. So 5:14. Let me bring you in. Oh, that's out. Let me bring you in. Okay, so you guys can kind of see. So to be very, very honest, I don't think it has really faded. I feel like the coverage is still really, really good. I feel like it looks pretty identical to how it did this morning, with the exception that I've rubbed this off because my nose is running a little bit earlier, and tissues, and you know, like it pretty much looks the same. The coverage is really, really good. However, I'm gonna find a way to make this work. It's just because for my taste, I just feel like it's too cakey looking. My skin is too dry. It doesn't fully sit in a way that looks seamless on my skin. I feel like it still looks texturized and cakey. And this is like almost 7 hours from original application time. So I think maybe it would work really, really well for photography. Like, I feel like on camera and in pictures, like my skin looks pretty good, but not in real life, if that makes sense. So this is what it looks like with the sponge application. On this side, I mixed it with that Smashbox oil, and then on this side, I just did it with a sponge just as it was. So in case you couldn't tell by my expression, this side looks cakey and dry and gross, and this side actually looks pretty okay. I actually really like it. I don't think I'm gonna set either side because this one is very mixed with oil. I just have to be really careful not to touch my face because it's going to take like a while to set. But I'm okay with that as long as the finish ends up being what I need it to be. And that way I know whether I can actually use this foundation or whether I just need to find someone to give it to. Really, really dry feeling, and I feel like it just doesn't look nice. Like my skin looks dead. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, where this side, like my skin looks lively and like normal. Like my skin looks like skin. My skin looks like it has a cake of makeup on. So that's the difference between the two sides with a sponge, one mixed with the oil, one without. When I was doing the mixture and the way it came out and then how long it's taking to like set, does remind me of what I used to do with the Kat Von D foundation back in the day, because it was so thick and so full coverage. So I liked the coverage it gave, but again, it was too matte, too dry, and almost too much for me, so I'd always mix it with sunscreen. So that's another thing I could try with this one. All right, so I'll check in later tonight and we shall see how it ends up. Hey guys, so this is going to be my final check-in tonight. It is currently 9:20 p.m. You guys see that? Yeah. So I've had the makeup on about 8 hours, maybe a little bit more. And at this point, the right side, in my opinion, looks really good, but it kind of took all day to get there. It was so heavy. If you like full coverage makeup and you don't mind it looking quite heavy, then it's fine. This side of my face where I did not mix it with anything, I just put it straight on my skin, way too heavy looking, way too cakey looking, and I feel like it's even more cakey looking now with a little less coverage, but still more cakey, you know what I mean? So definitely not a good combo. But this side is actually looking pretty nice now, but it's the 8-hour mark. So, you know, it would have been nice if it looked like this halfway through, and it did not. I was gonna check in, but anyway, it's been a really busy day. So let me just zoom you guys in so you can kind of see what I mean, maybe. So this is the side where I put the oil on and I mixed it in. So it stayed very dewy for a long time, but it was still looking really, really heavy. So that's not my particular taste. This is kind of where I wish it was hours ago. So it's actually looking quite nice now at the 8-hour mark. So again, I think it's just when I mix it with oil, I'm going to have to use less foundation, which is not an issue. That just means it'll last me longer. You know what I mean? So this side is the side that I didn't put anything on, and I don't know if the camera is fully capturing it, but I feel like it just looks really cakey, especially right here. Like, do you guys see how textured? Just looks super textured and super cakey, where this side, I feel like it's definitely better. You know what I mean? So both of them, you could tell, have some wear time behind them. Let me zoom you out. But the right side definitely looks better than the left side. So my overall thoughts on the Smashbox Studio Skin Full Coverage 24-Hour Foundation is that if you really like a very full coverage look and you are not dry skinned, it might work for you on its own. But otherwise, if you have dry skin like me, then it just looks way too cakey, way too heavy. It emphasizes the dryness, the texture, like it's not a good thing. However, mixed in with some oil, it still looked heavy. Like it just did. It looked heavy, but it didn't look like cakey, if that makes sense. Like my skin still looked much better with the oil on it. So I think I'm gonna keep kind of trying a mix of oil and foundation, but probably less foundation the next time around. And I'm hoping that I will find that perfect mix to make this foundation work for me, because I do like that it is full coverage. It's just too heavy and too drying. It's too matte on its own for my dry skin. So I'm not saying that it's not good for everyone or anyone. I'm just saying that if you have dry skin, I would think twice about it. Again, a perfect foundation is one that you don't have to mess with. So I can mess with it and it will work. That's my final thoughts on the Smashbox Foundation officially. All right guys, thank you so much for clicking on my channel. Thank you for watching today. Remember to spread love, not hate. Mwah. Bye.